Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Dark, Season 3, Episode 6. So last episode was a big episode. We had some big deaths happen. But of course we have that death of Jonas, which I'm not quite sure what to make of. My thought here is, obviously Jonas can't be out of the story from this point on. My thought here is what's going to happen is this version of Marta that we've been following, Marta from World 2, who Jonas introduced himself to, the one who didn't know who Jonas was, who we've been following for a few episodes now. What's going to happen is from here on out, she's going to follow what that other Marta did and bring a Jonas into this world, but then decide not to kill him when she's at that point where she kills him here. And we will follow like this Jonas, the Jonas we've been following dies, but we follow again a Jonas that is still basically has gone through the same thing, so it is essentially the same person. It's just from that point on, I guess. So this version of Marta will choose not to kill him, and then there is still a Jonas about, obviously. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen, but not quite sure. That's how I think that could go, how I hope it goes at least. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find 1 week early access, so you can get episode 7 right now. You can also find polls so you can vote for what's next, and you can find a full length timer based version of this where you just sync up your own footage and you can watch along with me. So yeah, let's just jump right in. Oh, okay. Seeing the apocalypse.
Ich verspreche dir. Ich mache das wieder gut.
Okay, yeah, back at the end of season 2. So yeah, is my theory right? Marta's just going to come in here, take him away, and we'll catch up from there. Oh, so that's what happened to this Jonas. He just went into the basement and survived, and then becomes the stranger, of course.
Du darfst niemals die Hoffnung verlieren, dass es einen Weg aus diesem Labyrinth gibt.
Oh, it almost looks like angel wings, doesn't it, a bit? The two sides of the family tree.
Und unvorstellbare Dinge tun, den Knoten am Ende zu lösen.
Yeah, of course, they have their own place to travel from.
Warum macht Adam das?
She's got to get her cut, doesn't she?
Wir passen perfekt zusammen. Glaube niemals etwas anderes.
Oh, okay. Gonna burn it. Okay, yeah, so we're following Marta after that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's all over. Get in the shower. And the coat as well, ruined. Hide that evidence as quick as you can. I'm worried someone's going to see her like this.
Ist alles okay?
Still got blood on her hands.
Hey.
Yeah, look at the state that she's in.
Das hat recht. Das, was Mike gesagt hat, ist mit dem Weltuntergang.
Oh yeah, because apocalypse is happening soon.
Die Welt geht heute unter.
Tickst du nicht mehr ganz richtig?
Of course, how'd you convince everyone? Ah, St. Christopher.
Aber du wirst lernen, ihn loszulassen.
Burnt away.
Hat fest daran geglaubt, ein Paradies zu erschaffen. Eine Welt außerhalb von deiner und meiner Welt.
A third world.
Ich habe endlich begriffen, was das Paradies wirklich ist. Unendliche Dunkelheit.
Okay. Yeah. So you got
Aber dafür
wipe everything out of existence.
Apokalypse passieren. In meiner Welt und in deiner.
It happens in both. That doesn't stop everything from existing, though, just having the apocalypse happening both.
Ich weiß, ich habe gesagt, ich bleibe heute zu Hause, aber es ist etwas dazwischen gekommen. Es tut mir leid.
I mean, it's the last day of the power plant, so from here we'll have much more time.
Jemand erpresst mich. Mit etwas.
He's actually revealing it, okay.
Manchmal treffen wir im Leben Entscheidungen, die wir nicht wieder rückgängig machen können.
I was surprised it's the murder that he's revealing, not his identity first. Maybe you keep the murder bit to the side and just reveal the Boris Newald.
Aber es war ein Unfall. Das musst du mir glauben. Ich bin kein Mörder.
Was ist mit Mama?
Didn't know anything.
Ich muss mit Ulrich sprechen. Ist er hier? Nee, der ist noch unter der Dusche.
The elephant in the room.
Jetzt hör mir mal gut zu. Ulrich gehört mir. Und daran wird sich auch nichts ändern. Kommt doch mal mit Peter vorbei.
And she switches just like that.
Das Ergebnis der mikroskopischen Untersuchung der beiden Pfennige ist da. Und?
Yeah, what is it? Are you figuring out time travel is real in this one?
Aber das hier? Diese kleine Rille. Als wäre der Pfennig irgendwie durch die Zeit gereist.
There it is! Okay, people in this timeline are figuring it out. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I swear it was shorter than that. Is she gonna cut it? Yeah. But that's her becoming the version that just killed him, you know?
Lauf so ein Schicksal.
Nein. Ich glaube, dass wir unser Leben selbst in die Hand nehmen. Dass wir entscheiden, welchen Weg wir gehen.
You can choose to change it, yeah.
Falls doch. Ich bin da.
This is just so overwhelming for Marta as well. She's learnt all of this in like the last day or two.
Vielleicht ist jetzt vieles anders. Das heißt nicht, dass es schlecht sein muss.
Nein, das muss es nicht.
Yeah, different doesn't need to mean bad. Or you just make the most of your situation. Oh. It's like white here. It's like, has it like collapsed in on itself? We've seen darkness is usually time travel, and when it's bright like that, the bright flash is when it changes world. Is she gonna go into world 2 here?
Stop!
Who said that? Kinda sounded like Jonas. Yeah. Okay. Where the hell has he come from?
Du lebst.
And then she writes the letter. Yeah, of course.
Eine Linie, die in einer Schleife wieder auf sich selber trifft. Zwei mögliche Wege.
So that one is alive, yeah. The one that becomes the stranger.
Beides wiederholt sich in der Schleife. Wieder.
It just happened infinitely.
Es ist übrig geblieben. Nach der Katastrophe.
Das Gottesteilchen.
But why is it so different?
Wie hast du mich überhaupt gefunden? Woher wusstest du, dass ich hier bin?
Yeah, I mean, this version of Jonas doesn't know about the other world then, does he?
Wir haben die Komponenten der Gleichung verändert. Vielleicht gelingt es beim nächsten Mal.
Ich habe keine Zeit, 33 Jahre zu warten.
Yeah. Yeah, so much of this show is characters ending up where we've already seen them, but it's so satisfying to see that loop field.
Die Materie im AKW. Ich weiß, was sie ist. Ich kann dir helfen, Martha zu retten.
It's that same manipulation though, isn't it?
Vor 33 Jahren gab es einen Störfall im AKW. Und dabei ist eine eigenartige Substanz entstanden.
He's already got so much on his mind.
Wir müssen mit ihm sprechen.
Löst was aus.
Die Apokalypse.
I just got chills from that. This music, this rising music.
Der Zeitpunkt des Todes muss unmittelbar vor dem Auffinden der Leiche gewesen sein.
Go through this again. Mark on the chin.
Diese Narbe am Kinn.
Ulrich?
Will he get many more answers this time?
Sie hat gesagt, ich muss es tun. Ihn in die Zukunft schicken, um die Lücken zu schließen.
Okay, so is Eva herself saying that to him? Not the Noah of this universe?
Ich muss ihn stoppen. Wen stoppen? Wen stoppen?
Myself, he's here. Oh, he sent the body through, so he's not here.
Dich.
Okay. Stop you from coming into the house and giving him this damage.
Darf die Fässer nicht öffnen.
Oh, he's just gonna ignore it. They gotta show up to the plant themselves then. Okay, where to now?
Wir haben lange auf diesen Moment gewartet. Ihr wisst, was zu tun ist.
What are they doing now? This was like a big moment, you know? We've waited so long for this moment.
Es ist besser, wenn du es selber siehst.
Okay. There's red suits in this world. They gotta stop the barrels from opening. Is he gonna show her the barrels? Oh, and Ulrich's just following along, yeah. And this will be what ends him up in 54. Ooh, okay. They're here to stop them. But they've come here from World 1 as well, haven't they? Oh yeah, Adam had the device off of Marta, didn't he?
Magnus?
And this version of Francesca can talk.
Aber du musst dich für unsere Welt entscheiden. Und ihm vertrauen.
Und was lebt?
In the other world, yeah.
Aber davor musst du Jonas vor der Apokalypse in seiner Welt retten. Und ihn in
That starts it there, yeah. But this is the endless cycle, the constant manipulation.
Was ist das?
Yeah, it's just way too much for Bartosz at this moment, isn't it?
Wohin mit
Er
kommen?
gehört nicht zu uns. Er gehört zu den anderen.
She's just leaving him to die, really, isn't? I guess he will be saved eventually.
Bartosz, du musst dich retten.
Yeah, that is Bartosz.
Claudia, du musst ein anderes Ich
Oh, is it an Egon as well?
Welt zu sein. Egon, du musst deine Vergangenheit erschaffen.
You must create your past. Without the beard, though. So all the pieces are getting put into place. It does feel like, you know, ramping up towards the finale, of course.
Der Ursprung. Er muss sterben. Aber er kann nicht auf normalem Wege getötet werden.
How do you kill it then?
Die Apokalypse in meiner Welt und die Apokalypse in deiner Welt.
Okay. But if you kill the origin, Marta never exists and it causes a paradox.
Nichts von dem hier wird es mehr geben.
How does the paradoxes in this resolve themselves, you know?
Wir sind falsch in deiner Welt und in meiner.
She said the opposite. We're perfect in your world and mine.
Jede Verbindung in der einen Welt.
Ah, that's cool.
Alles ist miteinander verbunden. Im Licht und im Schatten.
Oh, but the traffic light isn't mirrored. And this is, yeah, the version where she can talk, World 2. Oh, the chess pieces are in place. This version of Marta. I love seeing the differences between the worlds. Oh, okay. And then the for Charlotte. And this is what causes it, him showing her. But it's actually the unknown causing it as well. And he's going to be right under it when it happens. Oh, it looks like a mouth opening, ready to like eat her almost. And it's just these two that survive in the bunker. Oh, I do wonder what Hannah was planning to call her kid there. As she always had Jonas in mind, you know? Okay, Egon's there. Obviously she has a relationship with Egon back in the past in the other world. But if this really puts an end to both worlds, what are the next 2 episodes? So that was Dark, Season 3, Episode 6. So at the end there, everyone ceases to exist? I mean, that is if what Adam's interpretation of what would happen is true. We truly don't know, you know, in this story how paradoxes resolve themselves, because this is a paradox, especially with it being Adam who causes the death of the unknown, because in some long convoluted way he wouldn't be able to, like Jonas wouldn't be born without the unknown there. Let me just think about that. Yeah, because the unknown has to impregnate Agnes. Agnes needs to have Trond. Trond needs to have Ulrich. Ulrich needs to have Mikkel. Mikkel needs to go back, become Michael. Hannah needs to have Ulrich from Mikkel. So yeah, if Adam kills the unknown, he would also cease to exist. So there is a grandfather paradox there. So we just don't know how in this show how paradoxes resolve themselves. In some shows, existence stops, like how Adam thinks, but there might be other interpretations, like you physically cannot commit the act because it would cause a paradox, or the paradox would cause like some sort of split in timelines, or then there's another world created, who knows. Another world would be a bit much, I don't know. I feel like I'd said before at one point, and there being a possibility of them creating like a third world, because, you know, don't think of things in threes, and that third world, you know, in World 1 Marta has to die, in World 2 Jonas has to die. Maybe if they can somehow create another world, then they can both survive. I'm just trying to think how you would create a new world. Would him doing this actually create a new world instead of destroying both, or create a new one while it destroys both? I'm just thinking of, you know, so if you just imagine like a straight line and it splinters off in two, you can go back to the point where it splinters and change things to go on either path, or you could change things again to create a new path from that point. I guess you could go and create a new path from any point, really. You could go all the way back to 1888 and then have, you know, stop the unknown from killing that older version of Tannhausen. That would cause a new chain of events that would create a new world, you know. So you could really create a new world from anything just involving time travel. So I guess that could work. It's just how do you know that the world you are creating is like a good one and the best possible outcome? You know, it's impossible to know. Although it's stuff we've seen before, it is really satisfying to see the stuff happening in World 2 that we've seen previously in World 1. It's just kind of fun to see, you know. We're seeing Ulrich discovering about Mads and Charlotte figuring out that time travel could be a possibility. You know, it's things we've seen before, but it's just so fun and cathartic to see these things play out. And like, even with Jonas, him being put on the path to eventually become the Stranger, it's just fun to see. Like, you know it's going to happen, but just because you know it's going to happen, it's exciting to see the catalysts of what caused that to happen, you know? So then, speaking of Jonas, the explanation here is the infinite, this loop where Jonas gets taken into World 2 and then dies, and because of that, he doesn't get taken into World 2, goes on to become the Stranger and Adam, and then because of that he does go into World 2 and dies, and it's an infinite loop there that he is basically caught in. And then Eva referred to that as the knot, and I kind of called or referred to the origin, the unknown, as the knot, because he is like what ties both worlds together. But I guess that is the exact point in which the two worlds are together, and you could, I guess, create a third world from that loop, from that point, if something had happened differently there. Like, let's say Marta shows up there and takes him somewhere else instead of where she was supposed to take him, or someone else from World 2 shows up there. You know, there are differences that can happen there. So you could create another world from that point. But I am really wondering, like, just where the show goes from here. Because Adam's won, maybe? And both worlds are destroyed. Obviously, there's 2 episodes left. This isn't the end of the show, so something has to happen. There must be something wrong in Adam's interpretation of what causes these events, or something wrong in his interpretation of what this would cause, that this would either kill the unknown, maybe it wouldn't kill the unknown, or maybe it doesn't like cause both apocalypses to happen, it doesn't cause the end of times. You know, he says, oh, both apocalypses will happen and then it'll be the end of everything. But that doesn't mean the end of everything, because we see in World 1, the apocalypse happens and people survive. Society does go on a little bit, and like eventually in 1,000 years' time you could recover. And, you know, with 2053 in World 1, is it only Germany that's like that? Is it only Wyndham that's like that? It must be the whole world, right? Because the people of Wyndham would just move out and go into the rest of the world where things were normal again. So it must have been the apocalypse. You know, it affects the whole world. The whole world is in that kind of post-apocalyptic state, you know. But eventually we can recover because, you know, we see people, they have technology, they have electricity. It feels like that is something that is recoverable from eventually at some point. It will just take a long while. But that means that Adam doesn't really have his freedom. He's like freedom from time. But I'm just thinking about it, because he did that in 53 and he said it would like the apocalypse, the energy from the apocalypse of World 2 would be affecting Marta there. And he was bringing that over into World 1. So has it completely wiped out World 1 and World 2 then? But of course there still is a way to survive the apocalypse of World 2, because we see Noah and Elizabeth in the bunker in World 2, and obviously the female version of the female Stranger survives, so it's not like a complete apocalypse that completely wipes out humanity in totality, is it? Because the people in the bunkers survive. There is some way to survive from it, and they say everyone dies. I'm just thinking on like a global scale again, how that works. Is it in World 2, is it the whole world is just in this like desertified state? I'm guessing so. Of course, this episode, we do get it confirmed that that guy who died in season 1 of episode 2, it was Bartosz. It was the older Bartosz. He shows up here in World 2 in Eva's world, in Marta's world. He shows up there and yeah, he's working with Eva. Is Eva's group, you know, we have Sic Mundus. Is Eva's group something Lux? It says like let there be light. It was something Lux. I don't think I've had a name for Eva's group yet, but like Sic Mundus Creatus Est was on the doorway into the cave in World 1, and then on the doorway there is something Lux. Is that what you refer to Eva's like version of Sic Mundus as? Or is it just Sic Mundus? We've never actually, I don't think we've heard it be referred to as anything. I don't know, but we see her gathering her forces and she's putting everything into play here. Her versions of Noah, her version of Bartosz, and then the two Martas again. We had this conversation between Marta and Katerina, which I really liked, with Marta questioning if there is such thing as fate, and then Katerina saying, you know, you make your own fate. She doesn't really believe in fate. She believes you make your own decisions and you can change things. And that's been like a big theme of the show, really. Are things flexible? Can you actually change things from their time, you know, where they're destined on their path? Katerina thinks you can, and that might be the catalyst of what gets Marta to maybe save Jonas, or to try and change things. That might be, you know, one little conversation there could be knock-on effect of what actually saves all of this. I am wondering, you know, where we will pick up next episode. Is, I guess we would follow where Magnus and Francesca, the old Magnus and Francesca, took Marta, because they took her before the apocalypse happened, so she could do something there in World 1 that would stop this happening. But of course they are working for Sic Mundus, so she would have to betray them somehow, not follow exactly what they're doing. I guess that's where we would follow up on that. I guess that's where the next episode would start. I can't think of any other points really to take it from. You know, they could just have a montage of a barren wasteland for a bit showing the apocalypse has happened, but it depends on your interpretation of that. Is it the end, or is it like existence ceases, you know, everything ceases to exist like Adam had thought. So I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all the future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.